Municipal lighting plant for the Board of th 2018. This meeting is being video and audio recorded and televised live on Raleigh Community Media. Okay, so our first item is citizens' query. Will be from 7 p.m. to 7:10 p.m. Item number 2, review and accept previous meeting minutes. Have we had a chance to look at those?
I did. I had a chance to look them over.
Okay.
And everything looked good to me.
I was kind of holding back a little bit to see if B-Snow would show.
The other bookend. So I suppose I could make a motion to accept the minutes
You certainly can.
from make a motion to accept the, let's see, that would be the May 9th minutes. There he is.
Literally put down the camera 2 minutes ago.
How you doing?
Oh, it's all good.
Okay, I saved a little time for you.
We're not on yet, are we?
Yes.
Oh.
And we were giving him some extra time to B-Snow.
Okay, yes.
Okay? So,
I have a joke for you, I'm not gonna tell you.
no, that's fine. I'd appreciate that. Have you had a chance to check to look at these?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I guess everybody's got any issues? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll give you that motion.
I second it.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Shovel.
That goes back to the boss.
Thank you.
Okay, item number
Mr.
3.
Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes.
Question from the
I have
audience.
a topic. Brian DePersia, 500 Weathersfield Street. I have a letter here. Pass it around here. Sure. Should be in there for everybody. It's essentially, this is a letter for the department and the board, extending an invitation to the Massachusetts Climate Action Network Green Muni Summit on June 23rd of this month in Concord, Mass. I don't know if you want me to read the letter, or if you want to read the letter.
It's up to the chairman.
Yeah, if you want to read it, go ahead.
If you want
Go
to.
ahead.
So, okay. As customers of the Raleigh Municipal Light Plant, we wanted to invite you to an exciting meeting on June 23rd where customers of municipal light plants with interest in green energy and light department managers and commissioners like you from Massachusetts will be convening to learn about and discuss priorities and solutions that can work for each town at the local level. The statewide summit was held in January and was represented by 29 of the 52 towns served by municipal light plants. We thought you might be particularly interested in the keynote, Carl Rabago of the Pace Energy and Climate Center, and the conversation between light plant customers and light board members. Lunch will be provided. If you can only make it to part of the event, Carl's speech, the conversations and lunch will be happening from approximately 12 to 2 p.m. If you could please RSVP via the link below, that will help the organizers of the event prepare enough food, space, and follow up with directions. Again, like I mentioned, it's the Massachusetts Climate Action Network Green Muni Summit. It's at the Harvey Wheeler Community Center in Concord, Mass. On Saturday, June 23rd from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And thank you, and we hope you would consider attending to represent Rowley. Sincerely, Brian DePersia, 500 Weathersfield Street, Laura DePersia, 500 Weathersfield Street, Danby Whitmore, 61 Glen Street, and Jenna Haig, 179 Hillside Street. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Our third item on the agenda is Rowley Solar LLC update.
I'll give it to you, Bonnie, so give us a quick update on the project progress, and then
Sure.
the commissioners can have a discussion if they'd like.
Thanks, Mr. Folden. Bonnie Berkowitz, 623 Weathersfield Street. We've made some terrific progress since our last meeting. We had a site walk last week with members of the planning board, third-party engineer, our engineer, and we believe that went quite well. And yesterday, we received comments from the third-party engineer, his review, and our engineer has been working today to try to incorporate those into the presentation we'll be making momentarily upstairs. And so we're quite pleased with the progress. We continue to work our way through the process, and hopefully next month we'll be able to discuss further what's going on. Thank you.
Okay.
And if any of the commissioners or Mr. Folding, if anyone has any questions, we're happy to try to answer anything we may at this point, and if we're not, we'll get back to you if we have anything.
Okay.
In addition, one other thing, I believe tomorrow, Mr. Basilak from the Conservation Commission, I believe he wasn't able to attend the site walk last week, so our engineer is going to take him tomorrow at 1:30 on site. So if anyone on the board would be inclined to go on the site walk, you're more than welcome. And if that doesn't work, just let us know and we'll make arrangements anytime if there's any interest.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
I have a quick question, Bonnie.
Sure.
What is the deadline for commercial operation? What is the DOE pushed it out to as far as the SREC deadline? Do you know?
Well, they will give a precise deadline once the SMART program is launched.
Okay.
So SMART program is not launched as of yet. Having said that, in discussions with DOER, I think I mentioned to the board last time, our intention is to request an extension should SREC 2 end prior to our receiving our provisional permits from the boards.
Okay.
So that's what we are sharing with DOER in order to reserve our station for Rowley.
So if the extension is not granted by DOER, what does that mean for the project? Is that
I could probably answer better if we knew when we were completed with the municipal boards,
okay?
without a doubt. And I can't provide a construction schedule to either our team, to DOER, or to you, or anyone until we know that the plan we have put forth with the boards is acceptable to them.
Okay. So
We certainly will be building a solar array for Rowley, and we will figure it out together. That's our intention, and our hope that we'll work on it together.
okay. So you'll know a lot more tonight, I'd assume, after the planning board is done.
I'm hoping that's the case. That's our intention. We believe that that's our intention.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and we have everything lined up to hit the send button for DOER and come back and provide any dialogue with construction or further updates.
Okay.
And the only other point, and it's an aside as a resident that I would like to just provide to the board. I know Dan, Barbara, and I had reached on this many months ago, but because we are residents, developers, and the owner of the project, we are involved with other municipal distributed energy renewable solar arrays. It's interesting how their muni light departments are working. Some of them have actually formed holding companies so that they would be able to actually find a way to retain an asset. So what I'm trying to offer as a resident, and Barbara and I, is that if the board were interested in thinking about that, or perhaps having a dialogue, we have a small window that we could maybe present that as an opportunity. I would say that if that were the case, there are many other, as you're probably aware of, aside from the green communities, grants and monies that are out there, but there's an awful lot of, there are other options Rowley could take advantage of if they choose to do that. And we, as owners of the property and residents and the developer, we're willing to have a conversation with you.
Do you know the name of the municipalities that you just referenced offhand?
I don't offhand. I could certainly provide you with the literature and the groups that we have.
Yeah, if you could.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have a quick question for you.
Certainly.
Just being new to all of this and, running through the PPA, has there been any extensions?
No.
Because as I go through this, I see, different dates that are referenced in here, specifically the achievement of commercial operation date of March 25th and a typo of 2017. I assume that's 2018.
Yeah, I mean, I did not type the PPA. The PPA came from
Right, but
the muni, and at the time, our agreement with one another was that we would enter into this important project based upon the fact that we would actually complete the project and see it through. And I think with the understanding that dates are fully dependent upon our getting through the municipal boards and following the process. So they were something to work with, but if we're unable to, get through the boards at a particular time, we're in a holding pattern.
But I think what we may have to do is we may have to revisit the PPA and IA to revise the dates.
Oh, absolutely,
That
and
makes
I
sense.
hope to be able to do that after the last planning board meeting, and perhaps tomorrow we'll be able to, I'll put a call and say, the public hearing closed, the board accepts this, there's some provisional acceptance, and then we can certainly give a construction timeline. We have that internally, but it wouldn't be fair, I don't believe, to provide you with other dates that could be meaningless today,
Okay.
because how do we know?
Okay, again, I'm just kind of working through everything that I read in here and, seeing these, to me, in a signed document, a firm date
Yes.
that included penalties for a non-performance, so on and so forth. Not that I'm advocating for it, but
Right.
just as I read through it.
Yeah, but we can't
So
build
I'm
anything
trying
if you don't
to-
have a permit to go forward.
No, understood, but what Kevin is saying is, there are dates in there that were firm dates when the document was signed. So I haven't pushed the revisions of the documents, but we will certainly have to do that.
I would appreciate very much doing it. I
Okay.
didn't want to impose and have to go back to council. At this point, we probably would have gone back 8 times based on our revision.
Well, and that's probably one of the reasons why I've been stalling on is only because
Exactly.
you've shown good faith in getting the project done. It's
Yep.
just a matter of trying to get through the planning board process or
Yes.
the town board process.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. So the next agenda item is number 4,
Thank you.
Thank you.
2018 write-offs. There's one in here, Dan, that
Yep.
I probably can't do anything with, because I think it is a relative.
You wanna recuse yourself from the conversation, or?
Well, I mean, the rest of them are fine. I don't see anything
Okay.
else that pops back at me, but there is one. I think it's, let me see if I can find it again. It's 3146. That's the account number.
Number 6 down.
This one here.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a relative.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to get into hers, but
Right.
other than that, everything else is fine.
You want Kevin to?
Yeah, if he wants to.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. It's this one here, Kevin.
Yep.
She lives up on, off of Weathersfield Street. Way up. Farnham Road and stuff like that.
Yep.
What's
I'm
the
good with
bottom
that.
line? 1,600 and
161328.
161328. Yep.
I'm good with that. 352 is familiar to me. Okay. I make a motion to accept the write-offs as proposed by Manager Folding.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to accept. All those in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
Aye.
and I recuse myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, just so people understand what the write-offs are at home.
It's accounts that we exhausted all efforts to collect on, either through contact from the light department or contact through a debt management service. They've been on the books, I'm not sure on these, as far as the ages go, but
Couple of years.
probably a couple of years, yeah. So that we've exhausted all efforts to locate the people. And they're not, the amounts aren't enough to actually basically take the people to court or
Right.
to follow other avenues.
In case somebody out there has this question
Okay,
about
yeah.
write-offs.
Great.
Okay. Agenda item number 5, operations and maintenance budget update.
There's 1, 2,
Thank you.
I wish I was you.
It's not usually quite low, it's usually higher than that, but this year it's bad.
Yeah.
And this is as of the end of April, just so you know.
Wow, we're doing pretty good.
We're in about the same spot we were last year.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and last year we did make money, so I'm not too worried about the red number there on the bottom as far
Mhm.
as the negative of it. But it is due to high full capacity market costs in the first 6 months of the year. Once that drops down, starting in July, we'll start to recoup some of the money we've lost over the last 4 months.
Yeah, but that's not bad at all.
Sure.
And you get the total expenses. I mean, we're dealing with six letters, and then throw a seventh one in there, number. So that's not bad at all. Considering we're only halfway there.
Right.
Just a refresher, merchandising and jobbing.
That is billed to developers or
Oh, okay.
jobs the light department does for customers. So it'll be negative because we've billed out jobs, or we've billed out equipment such as transformers and haven't gotten paid for it yet.
So you have developments that are going in, and so,
Yeah,
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 okay. And there's a lot of building going on in town.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's more coming.
And more coming, yes.
Okay.
Any questions on the front of the back page?
We only got one red one.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I get a question.
Sure.
Does the discount appear as a line item anywhere?
No. No, it's basically
Didn't.
not collected, it's uncollected revenue basically, so it doesn't show up anywhere.
Okay. So what's that?
You vote on that?
We vote to
No.
accept it. You want us to accept it?
Nah,
No.
it's all right. You don't
Okay,
have
it's
to.
just okay.
Just for
Yeah.
now, just to update.
Let us know that you're doing a good job. That's a good thing. Okay, we go down to item number 6, which is accounts receivable.
You had asked me to put this on the agenda.
Right. How do we look receivables right now?
Accounts receivable, or, I mean, cause it's you're talking about rates, or you're talking about in total?
In total?
In total, I'd probably have to get you the number. I don't know, off the top of my head, I don't wanna say
Okay.
off the top of my head, but I can email you that. I can basically put the report out and email you the number,
Okay,
so I'll have it for you tomorrow.
okay.
I mean, you want total accounts receivable, you want it broken down any
Yeah,
different way?
if you could break it down and, the figure, what is owed to the municipal.
Okay, all right.
Sorry to bother you. Is there a meeting here tonight for the solar farm?
Upstairs.
Upstairs, all right, thank you.
So if you can break it down.
Okay, I can probably, Eric, can you do the receivables by age, 30, 60, 90, 120?
I believe we can,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, you might have to help me print that report.
Yeah, we can put it together and get it over to you tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Sometimes the northern data system is not the easiest. But I'll do my best to get your report tomorrow afternoon.
Okay,
Okay, all set?
all set.
All right, we'll go to item number 7, which is EV program update.
Okay, I emailed you the final program offering from Energy New England for our EV program. I hope you had a chance to review the program itself so we can have a discussion, and I brought printed copies if you want printed copies. We'll have a printed copy. You want another one?
No, I'm good.
Anybody else? Printed copies? Do you want one?
Sure.
I also have a little slide deck presentation, a PowerPoint for you to view. Sorry, Eric.
Oh,
It's okay.
Is this a new one that,
Yeah, it's new, it's kind of the same one we've already seen. So it's a little
Okay.
bit, it's a hybrid kind of
You happen to see today's newspaper?
deal. Is that?
Happen to see today's newspaper and yesterday's newspaper?
Yes.
With the injury?
No.
They're going behind big time with this stuff.
Yeah. The town itself, like the municipal fleet or the,
No, it's the Baileys. They're the ones that, they actually came up with a electric vehicle back at the turn of the century. And they're doing more now.
okay.
They're putting others together.
What's this? I'm sorry, Bob, I didn't.
It's Amesbury.
Amesbury, yes, yes.
And they were the Bailey brothers, they had a machine shop and stuff. And they had a lot of older vehicles that were electric, battery operated. And they're putting more units together.
Amesbury have been very progressive about this. They put chargers in their parking garage, remember about, what, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, it's probably,
Do
because
you
these
remember
guys,
that, Kevin?
I don't. No.
Okay.
they're out going through the country,
Mhm.
buying these things back, because they were sold by the Bailey automobile.
Oh, really?
And now they're going back, and they got one out of a museum. So they're spending some money.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. They're gonna run some stuff. Well, they got the 150th anniversary coming up or something, and they're gonna use these cars to, in the parades and all that other stuff.
Well, it wasn't too, I heard, what was it, I read, I think it was last night or this morning, that Tesla's laying off some people.
3,600.
3,600, ouch.
Mhm.
That's,
They have a lot of cars on the waiting list.
yeah, they do.
Maybe the Baileys buy them. I don't know. I mean, it was just a newspaper article, so.
I'll see if I can find that. I assume it was the Newport News or the?
Newport
It
News.
was,
Yeah.
it was today's Newport News. It's kind of like a jamboree they're doing up there for electric cars
Oh,
to
okay.
promote them. They're gonna have a couple of Teslas up there. Like Bob was saying, they're gonna have some Baileys up there, some home conversions that people have done, so on and so forth. It's kind of a promotional thing
Okay,
to get people to see kind of what's out there.
Drive green.
I'll take a look.
Is it the drive green?
I don't know if it's a drive green event or not. It
Didn't-
seemed like
didn't
more
say
like
anything in
an
the paper.
organic type
No, just like
Amesbury event
Town
itself. It's right on the very front page of Newport News for today.
Okay, cool. So the PowerPoint kind of explains briefly the program offering that E&E's given us. I do like the offering, but there are some things that we need to talk about as far as the program goes, because there's different options within the program that basically E&E needs kind of direction from the board and myself to kind of move forward. So the first page of the program offering is basically the main part of the program, and that describes customer, like a customer website, customer MLP individual page, 800 number for an EV specialist, marketing materials, EV registrations, coordination of ride and drive events, operations management, EV ambassador program, auto dealership education program, and then it goes on to like a scope of work. And all that is basically, there's a startup fee and a monthly subscription fee right at the top of the first page. And that covers all of that on the first page. So that would be the main part of the program as far as what we would, subscribe to.
And this would be for the initial vehicle? So the first vehicle you're buying, or?
No.
No,
This is for Raleigh Light to basically support and drive awareness for electric vehicles,
Okay.
to promote customer awareness for electric vehicles, and then the second part of the program is the charging part of the program and how we want to educate customers on how to charge their EVs, times a day, and things like that. So the first part of the program is really driving our customers to the right dealerships, educating them about cars, supporting or giving them
Okay.
more information about the EVs. So
How's the monthly subscription work?
basically it would be a bill from E&E just every month.
And that covers everybody,
That covers the town of
the town.
the whole town, yeah.
Okay.
Anybody who's a customer of the municipality would be eligible to call the 800 number,
Mhm.
participate in ride and drive events, go to dealerships, get the discounts, things like that. So the second part of the program is smart charging equipment or EVSE rebate program. This is where it gets a little bit dicey because all these programs are fairly new. So it's difficult for everybody to know how all the equipment is going to function and how customers behave as far as vehicle charging, how we're going to incentivize either on the customer's monthly bill, a bill credit, or are we going to incentivize the actual smart charger so we can track the actual charging times for the customers? So from what I talked to the representative from E&E, and she had said that they're finding some issues with the smart chargers as far as connecting to them because they're basically Wi-Fi, so they're able to connect remotely to them, download the data, charging data, so they're able to tell when a customer is charging their car. The other ways to tell if a customer is charging their car in the right time of day is either through AMI or automated meter infrastructure. So which we don't have AMI here in Raleigh, so basically that option is kind of off the table for us. Or basically you can just give them a straight incentive and not worry about if they're actually charging the right time of day. There are there's equipment we can put in the cars if the customer agrees to it that would actually track their charging habits and let us know basically if they've charged the car at night or not. But the smart chargers and the equipment that goes in the car, you not only have to pay the startup fee and the monthly subscription fee for E&E, but you also have to pay software maintenance fees. You have to pay fees to the software company in order to be part of that program.
How much are the fees for the?
She really didn't have a good idea on the fees yet, but I think they're going to be rather expensive.
Yeah,
I have, I mean, the smart charging station is roughly $400 to $500 for the customer to purchase. That probably doesn't include installation. So if we wanted to incentivize a smart charger, I'd leave it up to the board to decide how you want to do that. You know, I mean, these are the things that we kind of have to work out as for the program to move forward. Or do we want to give them a strict, here's $8 a month on your bill, make sure you charge off hours, off peak.
But there's no way of tracking that then.
No, there wouldn't be.
Because the fact that you have AMR versus an AMI system, correct? Otherwise, it has to do some kind of Wi-Fi connectivity, is that what I'm getting from you?
Yeah, I mean, the only other way we could do it if we, and I have to verify this through a meter vendor, there may be a way for us to purchase a meter that goes on the house that reads low profile data. But I'm not sure if the meter will work with our billing system. We may, if we do that, we may have to send a meter reader out to every one of these meters if we do get a lot of participation and read them manually every month in order to get the low profile data from them. I have to figure that part out if the meter vendor is actually able to do that.
and, you know, right now, we don't know where the customer wants to go, you know, when it comes to EVs, and you would like to be able to use Wi-Fi and read off the, you know, if it's cost effective, and read directly off the smart charger, so we know what the customer's doing. And again, we don't know, we've talked about this before, how, if you have a 300-mile charge on the car, you're not gonna go home every night and charge it depends on what your commute is, and what the average commute, what was it we were talking about? Something like 30 miles or something like that?
I think it's actually in, it might even be in this.
Have you read about that, Brian? About the average commute, electric vehicle?
Yeah, it's something like 20 miles.
Yeah, 20, 30
20,
miles.
25 miles.
Yeah, so it's, people aren't gonna come home and plug in, as soon as their electric vehicle every night. They're gonna, probably every fourth night or something like that, or third night, they'll come, they'll plug in depending on, how many miles they did drive that day.
Right.
And again, we've been talking about batteries, and, once they get over the hurdle of this battery, and get, they're talking about this, a charge that will take 700 miles. I mean, that's gonna be the breaker, I think everything changes in America at that point.
Well, I mean, I guess I need to, we could make a decision on the program itself and say, we want to start the customer awareness part of the program, educate the customers, do that. But if we're not gonna decide on the charging part of it, I don't think we should do the first part of it. Because if we're gonna promote electric vehicles, we should be trying to tell the customer how to charge them and
Yeah.
when to charge them.
Yeah.
Because that is the whole point of the program, is to make sure these vehicles, when they become very popular, don't affect our peak.
Yeah, I think I don't know how you guys feel, but I think we need to go like a Wi-Fi system.
She did say that, I mean, the charges will get better, I'm sure they
Yeah.
will. I think she said, I think they lost connection 20% of the time. So is that a lot? I guess it all depends when you're actually getting the data from the chargers. I mean,
So these chargers would report back to E&E, or would they report back to us here at our MLP?
I would assume the way it would work would be, if we have a software company that's driving the whole smart charger, we would get a login, we'd be able to look at the data from that charging station just by logging in and looking up our customers. I'd assume it'd be through E&E, but I can find that out just to see how that piece of it works.
I mean, you can read those meters. We did a project here back quite a while ago where we tied in with the cable companies, and we tied it into the electric meter. And at the end of the month, we would push the button and it would report the use of the electricity.
Okay.
We did that with an APPA money, gave us the money to do it.
All right.
Because nobody had ever done it before. And we did it, and actually it worked. Every once in a while, you'd look at it and say, that's a funny number.
Yeah.
And you'd go back and read the meter, and it would be exactly the same.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that before, so I'll have to look
There
into
should
that.
be a magazine, or not actually, I say a magazine, a file with the requiring, with all of the things that happened during that. Sorry.
It's okay.
You mean to wake you up.
So we were able to read the meters over the electric. Like,
We were able to read the meters over the cable companies,
over the cable company.
you know, their outside stuff.
Okay,
And it was basically just by computer.
okay. So there was some place, a wiring
Well, there was a small, yeah, we still got any of that stuff left.
We may have some on the way.
There was a bunch in the box up there on the shelf in the back of the warehouse.
May still be there.
I've still got the unit on mine. I don't have the meter, no, it's not on the meter, but it's the box itself,
Software company that can monitor charge.
We'll have to look.
so.
So it was separate to, a separate device, sending out a signal from our usage
Yeah.
to Comcast or Verizon, or whoever we had to send the signal back. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So are you looking to do like a flat incentive fee per month on this? So if this reports back to Eni or whomever it's reporting back to, and the customer has charged off-peak 100% of the time, then you get your incentive of whatever the monetary value is per month. Now, what if they, at 80% of the time, they've charged
I'd say
off-peak?
it's either a yay or a nay. Either you're on or you're not on. So I don't think it's, what we suggested was $8 a month for bill credit per customer. I mean, it's not a huge credit, but it may be enough to incentivize the customer to charge off peak, especially if we incentivize the purchase of the charger.
And because it's AMR here, you can't do, say, a carrot and stick type rate approach with this, is that right?
No.
Lower rate. Yeah.
No, I mean, to invest in an AMI infrastructure for the light department, $1.5 million.
Right, so- and that's what I'm looking at myself right now, is a carrot and stick, because I have AMI, but given that you have AMR, you can't, you're limited in your ability to do that.
Right,
Okay.
right.
I'm of the feeling that we should kind of wait until we get the rest of it hashed out,
Okay,
as far as, the charging systems, level 2 chargers, interconnectivity, maybe we get a better handle on how much the software fees are gonna be
okay,
per year, so we can get a better handle on, what the total overall cost is gonna be. I mean, in looking at what you've presented, it ranges from, I think the base was 9,000 plus the 2,500 startup, so 11,500 per year. And then you go to the top tier, at 2,500 or 1,500 a month plus the 2,500 startup fee, that's 20,500. Plus whatever software fees we're gonna have to pay
Yeah.
on top of that.
What happened with this, because it was something new that it started, there was a couple other companies around that tried to do it. We had one come in out of the Midwest just to look at ours. The problem that it developed was that the cable company decided they had a frequency that this was on. And then they decided they wanted to put it on FM instead, which of course didn't work.
so if I'm hearing correctly, you wanna look at incentivizing a smart charger and partnering with a software company that can monitor charging? Is that kind of the direction? So I can give her some directions so she can give me some actual numbers that we're gonna be dealing with?
That's what I'm thinking, based on getting much of the same information that you are.
Okay.
And they're talking about 20% of the time it doesn't read the,
They lose connectivity, so,
connect-
like home, your Wi-Fi drops
Yeah.
out.
yeah,
20% of the time, I mean, to me, that's not a huge number, only because
yeah.
you could, I mean, so 80% of the time you read it, you're gonna get the readings you want.
Right.
It's only 20% of the time that you're not, and that 20% could be at night, I don't know. I mean,
Well, I would think that the smart chargers would have enough to be able to hold the data and would, send the data, if it's not making a connection, getting a handshake, as we used to say, if it's not getting that handshake, then I would think they would not send the data.
why don't
And
I,
then maybe, I think we gotta ask questions like
okay,
that.
why don't I talk to her again, let me talk to her and see what
Yeah.
I can find out about, now that I have somewhat of a direction as far as which direction we wanna go in that, as far as that goes, I can She can probably give me better numbers for the software program. She can probably talk to, she did say she has leads on different companies that she could go to,
Okay.
software companies, the Wi-Fi charger companies, so that we can get some better numbers, so we'll understand better, make a better decision.
How much more work is this gonna place on the staff? Or will it be primarily with E&E? I'm looking at this saying, it looks like most of this is gonna be shed back on E&E.
I would think it's, depending on how we structure the credit, if we do a bill credit, a flat bill credit for an EV customer of $8, it's not gonna really put anything on the staff, it'll be automatic. We could get a report from the company every month, and once we see the report, we scroll through the report. It's either you get the $8, you don't get the $8. I wouldn't think it'd be that much to put on each.
I don't think so. I think it'd be pretty much, you know,
If we could get the solar net metering to work correctly, that would be a lot less of a burden than this is gonna be. So,
Okay.
Okay.
On the overall program, question or comment either. So it's the way it's structured. It sounds like it could be a phased, a phased implementation, or do part of it and then maybe do a part of it later if it worked out, where there was enough people signed into the system with enough interest.
no, I would think we would do it all at once, because if we're gonna start pushing EV education and the benefits of electric vehicles, I want to be able to offer the phase 2 of the program at the same time. That way we incentivize the smart chargers, because the way our load works, if we have enough vehicles that create a new peak, that's very costly to the other customers in town, and I don't want to do that. So if we can do all the program at once, to me it would be better than doing a partial.
And gasoline is right around that.
Oh, it's $3. It's over $3 a gallon.
Yeah,
now.
it's right there where, people are starting to look at electric vehicles as a trade-off.
Should we do the number?
Of the number of EVs.
equivalency, yeah. I don't think she did. She did a equivalency the last time we saw these slides of what our rate
I
equates
think
to
the
in
long
gallons of
term
gas.
numbers now.
And I don't see it on this one. I can get that from her.
Yeah.
Because the more the gas price goes up, the better the EV looks.
They're jumping out the windows now.
Oh, okay. So, that being said, I'll talk to her again, and we'll talk more about the incentive network smart charging stations, and I'll try to get some more information for our next meeting on that.
You might try PPA if you want to find out what we did as far as between the cable TV stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see if I can look.
They should have a report on it.
I'll see if I can find that.
It should be in the file somewhere.
Okay.
If I remember, it was quite thick. It really was. It was, and it worked. It was amazing.
Okay, cool. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
What's my agenda?
Good night, everybody.
You too,
see you, Brian, take
Good
care.
night, Brian.
Thanks for coming.
So now we're down to item number 7. I'm sorry, number 8. General Manager's Review.
All right. So just so Kevin knows how this works, being a new board member. Every year, we go through, my contract is on a yearly basis, and every year we go through a performance review for me, as described in my contract. And this is the form we've used in the past. Run down through all the questions, and you rate me as far as, you may have a tough time only because this is only your second meeting, but you can just give me all the high marks if you want. So anyway, that's what we've done in the past, and then we've talked about my contract after the review was finished. Does that seem about what we've always done?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we flip the coins.
Did we do this at the meeting, and then or did we do this
No, we did this at the meeting.
at the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I can't.
Just open it up a little bit.
You can shut it a little bit, yeah. Keep some of the noise down.
We'll take it from the top?
Sure.
Okay. Want me to do it, Bob? You want me to,
Well, yeah, if you want.
want me to read it?
I've been going through it here a little bit, but
Okay, time management, our schedules and deadlines met, reports completed. Is time being put to best use, priorities established? Well, you've handed me things as I'm thinking of it, so I think that's,
no, I think it exceeds standards.
yeah, exceed standards. Control of resources, our budgets being met, our requests for equipment justified, space requirements realistic, expense controls in place. Okay. We get the budget update and everything every month, and it exceeds.
Yeah.
Work practice, does the individual follow directions, either verbal, written, or procedures followed? Can this individual read necessary instructions and complete the job without assistance? Exceeds, as far as I'm concerned. Quality of work. Is there serious attention to quality? Is the quality consistent, or does it vary? Does the person take the time to do it right?
Meets the standards, as far as I know. Right?
Dependability, does the person come to work each day ready to work, and the individual be counted on to get the job done, willing to do the work, overtime when needed? Is he or she a team player when the deadline approaches? Do you seek out this person to participate in completing the assignment on time?
Which one of these things are you on here? Time.
Communications, are reports clear and to the point? Does the individual share information with others properly? Does the person keep the supervisor informed regarding any special events and effective functions within his or her area? Does the individual listen attentively and respond appropriately?
Exceeds standards.
Internal, external relationships. Is the person flexible, agreeable, easy to get along with, help others without being asked, get along with peers? Does the person interact well with residents and vendors? Is appearance neat, clean, and professional?
Exceed standards.
A little wrinkled today, but I'm all right.
Judgment, does the person show awareness of others' needs? Is he or she able to consider all factors of the situation before making a decision, or is he or she impulsive? Can you rely on this individual to use common sense and to take appropriate action when necessary? Is confidential information safe with this person?
Meet standards.
I know when storm just
Well, that's the only time it's gonna go south, is when it's a bad
well,
storm.
no. You've called me, Dan, when, before a storm or after a storm, during a storm, so, you've always kept me
Up to date.
up to
Sure.
date what's
Yeah.
going on. And if there were people, especially we had an outage, was it last year, I think, and you were right on it. You were just, you kept me informed all the time about it. So. Creativity, do you see original yet practical solutions to problems? Does this person suggest improvements? Is there willingness to try new ideas and adapt them to the job? And I think we've seen that, especially over the last couple of years, when we're looking into generation, and you adapted well, I think, as things changed out there in the electric world, and you brought it to our attention. So, professional skills, does the person understand the demands of the position and how to interacts with other positions? Does this person know what has to be done? Do others ask this person for job-related advice? Is the person proficient in all aspects of the job?
Exceed standards.
Exceed standards.
Okay, preparation on thoroughness and effectiveness of planning. Are plans submitted meaningful and beneficial to the organization? Are potential problems anticipated? Is planning detailed? Do plans reflect genuine need? I think we saw it tonight. We were talking about EVs. Reaction to stress. Can this person handle stressful events and maintain the course in the face of difficult situations? Can the person be depended upon to meet deadlines, approach and pressures intensify? Does he or she remain effective in spite of irritation, changes in plans and new policies? I think we see that every snowstorm. Exceeds. Is the person energetic and self-started? Does the individual have genuine commitment to the position? Is he or she actively busy without being pressed? Does he or she make an active effort to do more? Is he or she energetic, self-started?
Exceed standards.
Exceeds.
Problem solving. Can the person analyze problems and come up with a solution? Can the individual think in an analytical manner and get to the point quickly? Does he or she identify problems and suggest solutions?
Meet standards.
Okay, volume of work. Can the individual keep up with the workload? And if so, is the production steady and consistent? Can the person deliver what has to be done and meet the crash program when necessary? Meet a crash program when necessary.
Exceeds, I think.
Yep. Okay. What kind of training and developing employee, this last page. Employee complete since the last review, continual job training, attending informational instructive meetings held by NEPA, which we went to last year. And the vendors of new and existing product services. You've brought vendors in numerous times over the past year, especially with EV vehicles and smart chargers and such. In generation, looking at generation changes and solar, you've done that. Continue outreach and networking with other municipalities to stay informed of upcoming issues and events that would benefit Raleigh Light. Okay, what additional knowledge or experience, job related to assistant training does the employee need to develop his or her strengths? And continually going to NEPA, I guess, is one.
The annual conference. NEPA, annual conference?
Annual conference. I mean, I've gone the last 2 times, I just can't get over how much data you gain going there and information. Very good. Okay. Okay. We sign? Or should we sign one, or, oh, that's just we sign.
Well, it's an employee signature.
No, that's for the chairman. Okay, you're the,
Then it's the chairman.
you're the chairman, so.
Okay.
We'll sign one copy, and then I will, if you need copies, I'll give you copies. If you don't want copies, that's fine too.
Okay. I'll put my initials on the top.
Okay.
Okay. Make a motion to accept the review.
Seconded?
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
You need one for each of us, or just Bob's?
You can, if you want to initial it, I'll keep it,
Okay.
so I have a record of it. I'll take that one too, Bob, so I can sign it.
I signed the back page.
Okay.
I mean, I initialed the back page. If you want to put it on the front, that's fine too.
I'll give you copies of it.
Okay.
Upstairs. Up,
Yep.
that stairway.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
They don't know what you're
I gotta,
They lost.
they're headed in the right direction. They-
Succession plan for RMLP.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
whoa, whoa, we're going too fast. here.
No, we got one more.
No, I'd like to talk about, since you gave me such a stellar review, let's, I'm due for a raise in July 1, so I guess we can have that discussion now, since you just did the review.
Yep. What was the union's increase?
The employees received the 2.5%.
2.5. So we need to give you at least 2.5.
Yep.
Is that okay, or?
I know that during my last round of negotiations with my own employees, we were looking at more along the lines of 3%. I wouldn't be averse going with 3% to the general manager at this time. I mean, Dan has shown, you know, with his leadership in this EV program, with all of the issues that have come up with the solar program here, that he's willing to put in the time to educate himself, to educate you guys, as I've seen, you know, in the meetings that I've watched and the meetings I've attended. He's a fantastic asset for the town. I don't know how much longer we're gonna have him.
I mean, I don't have any major issue with another 0.5%. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Well, I was gonna go 2.75. Go, Dan has done a very good job, so I can go along with 3%.
%3? Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Can I ask, is there anything you would counter it with?
Usually I've done a salary comparison, different managers, but I didn't do that this year. I know the closest town to us in Georgetown, who is basically a sister town, the manager there is probably close to 10,000 more per year than I am. Maybe not 10,000, no. Probably close to 8,000, 8,000 more, if I'm thinking of that right. But,
Would it behoove us to get some information? I mean, I know I have access to similar survey information that we could take a look at for our next meeting.
Okay, we'll hold up, table it till next time.
Is that acceptable?
yeah, that's fine.
Make a motion, table it.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Second.
I second it.
Motion made and seconded.
Thank you.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed, motion carried. Just yours.
Yep, that's,
Fine, I just want to make sure I got into the right bundle.
last item. Item 9.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I read it once. Succession plan for RMLP.
All right, so I don't have a definitive written plan as a succession plan is defined, but I wanted to bring the board up to date on things that are in the future going to happen at RMLP that I think you should be aware of. 2 retirements, and along with 2 retirements, 2 staff moving up into positions that are going to be, one will be retired from, one will be just one staff moving up and the other staff moving into that position. I'm not going to get too detailed only because I don't want to get into the staffing part of it, but the superintendent will be retiring in February of next year, and I am planning on retiring as well in February of next year. So the superintendent's position is easily fillable from the staff interior, from staff that I already have in place. He has been shadowing for, as time allows, for the last 6 months. I think he's very capable of filling that position. So when that person vacates his position as general line foreman, then that position will be open for staff to apply for. And I probably have more than one staff person that will apply for that job, so that one's going to be a little bit more difficult to fill internally. I believe, we can fill it internally. It's just a matter of which candidate is best for the job. That is what I view is going to happen over the next 8 to 10 months. Is the retirements. Actually, one more thing before I go on to that. I'm looking to hire a new apprentice lineman to fill the position when everybody escalates a slot. If they do, then I'm going to hire an apprentice lineman in the next month or so to fill the vacant position as a lineman. So we'll maintain the same amount of staff. There won't be any loss in staff.
So you're looking to bring on hire an apprentice next month so that they've been here for the balance of the year and that they can start line school or whatever we choose the following year. You choose the following year.
Yeah, exactly. They would be here for approximately 8 months, training with staff, getting certifications that they need, the CDLB license if they don't have it, starting to work on their hydraulics license if they don't have it.
Right.
Before they even start the NEPA line school, I think that's in January or February, that starts again, new year. So then at that point, they would be sent to line school for 4 years.
And just to clarify, as they come in as a groundsman first, correct?
That's correct.
Right.
We have a full, it's a well, there's 4 major steps and then there's 3 steps there's 3 steps within each step. So there's a maximum of 12 steps. And that's all 6-month review. So
Right.
every 6 months, the new employee would go up for review. And with either the general line foreman and the superintendent, and they would say to the manager,
Yep.
he's ready to move forward.
Or
move
she's
up a
ready to
step.
move forward.
He or she would move up a step
Right.
forward, and then that would continue until they reach maximum step.
There would be a general hire off the street.
I would say, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, depending on what we get for applications.
Right.
So you're strictly looking for apprentices right now? You wouldn't be looking for first-class rated linemen?
I've talked to staff, we've had a discussion about that, and at this time, I wouldn't want to go with a first class only because we have a very qualified staff right now, and I wouldn't want to. I don't feel the need to hire another first class. If we hire an apprentice, then we're able to bring him in fresh, no baggage. He's ready to learn. He or she's ready to learn in this environment. They're not bringing anything from another system or
And I think that's smart. You know, you go back to when I worked as an outside plant, and you looking for somebody, you don't want everybody clumped into one age group. You want spread out succession, so you have somebody learning and coming up through the trade, and I think that's the smart way to do it. So you have people spread out, and you have experience here, and and someone to be able to teach.
What I've always liked about that approach with hiring the apprentice is you're hiring not the skill set, you're hiring the attitude.
Yeah,
So you're getting the right person for the job, and the rest of it, if they set that with their attitude, they will learn and they will
Yeah.
become a fantastic lineman. You can build them and mold them into what you need them to become.
Well,
Versus sometimes you just get somebody for the skill set, and there's other things that
Yeah.
come with them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Kevin, you know that. I mean,
Well, we've been through that ourselves.
so, yeah, I think it sounds like a good plan.
Okay. I will keep you up to date as far as the retirements go. I think the superintendent nobody's given their notice to the retirement board or anything like
Yep.
that, so, and we can talk more about, you're gonna have, as a board, gonna have to, as soon as I figure out my date, start the process of hiring a new manager. Whether you wanna start that ahead of time, that's in your purview, so I'm not gonna unless you want me involved in it, this is totally up to the board to decide how that progresses going forward, so.
Yeah, let's talk about that next month, I think. Just table it, and I want to go back and review, how we did it last time.
The last time when I was hired, they hired a search firm,
Yeah,
and the search firm basically went out, got candidates.
yeah,
They interviewed with I believe at that time you were on the personnel board,
yes.
interviewed with the personnel board for the first interview, and the second interview was done
Yeah.
strictly with the light board.
Yeah.
That's kind of how the process worked last time.
Yeah, I was on the personnel because I was chairman of the board at the time.
Yep.
Yep.
So we'll have to, we can, like I said, we can address that at the next meeting if you wanna, I'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah, I think we should review that and look at that and refresh the board's memory.
Okay.
How long you been here now, Dan?
7 years?
Oh.
2015 I started, so.
Yeah.
I've survived that long.
Doesn't seem that long, but yeah,
Mm.
it is.
Goes by fast.
Sure it does. Sometimes it goes by slow. Been that route too.
Give me a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
I second it.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned.